Hi, my name is Brian Huntley. I'm going to be doing an informative speech on wakeboarding for the COM 111 class today. So a lot of people have skateboarded for at least gotten on a skateboard, but wakeboarding, because of the steeper learning curve and the different materials required to start it up or to go try it out, a lot less people do it. And actually in America last year, 10 million people were avid skateboarders, but only 3 million had even wakeboarded ever. So and as I said, it's due to the deeper learning curve. It's a lot harder to get started, whereas a skateboard you can just kind of step on and wobble around stationary. Wakeboarding has to be moving because you're being pulled by the boat, so it makes it a lot more difficult to really just start it up. In this speech, I'll be explaining what you need attitude-wise, what you need equipment-wise, and what you would need attribute-wise to start out wakeboarding. So to start with the balance aspect, because as I said earlier that you're moving forward at any point that you're participating in wakeboarding, you really have to have a good center of balance and a good center of gravity when you're in the water and when you're getting up at the beginning. So how you get up on a wakeboard is you're holding a tow rope that's about 50 or 60 feet connected to the boat in front of you, and it's almost like you're sitting down in a chair and you use the water pushing against your board as you go up when the boat starts going to lift yourself out of the water, and then you hydroplane on top. And then due to this, you're always moving while you're wakeboarding, so it makes it a lot more difficult for people to stay up because you're not stationary. Another thing you want to avoid balance-wise is once you are up and once you do start wakeboarding, once you start going, is what they call catching edge. And catching edge is when you're on the board and you accidentally lean towards the direction that you're going towards, and your actual the whole front of your board will submerge into the water, and then you'll just either fall forward or fall to the side because the water catches your board, and then you can no longer sail and hydroplane on top of it. The next aspect is the equipment. And this is another reason why a lot of people haven't wakeboarded, is because you need so many things. Not only do you need to have a section of water in which to wakeboard, but the equipment in general is just a lot more expensive than just the skateboard. So for wakeboarding, you have obviously your wakeboard, and that's personalized to you because there's different weight amounts, and that's for different sizes and different buoyancies. So my wakeboard is a 150 to 200 range, but other people have different ranges, and the ranges vary in size. And then you have your bindings. You can connect any bindings to any board, and the bindings are the same kind of way, but for shoe sizes. So it'll be 8 through 12 shoe sizes. Then you can just squeeze them tighter, and it's a little rope that you tie around, and you just squeeze them tighter if your feet are smaller, and let them looser if they're not. And your bindings screw right back into your wakeboard. You can switch out different bindings with different boards and whatnot. So then you go up to the rope. The tow ropes are between 50, 60, and 70 feet long, and they are attached to the boat. And they try and be no stretch or no for high tension situations, because it's really hard to lose your balance if the rope keeps stretching and getting farther and shorter with how much tension is on it. So they do no stretch ropes that actually help you just keep that continuity throughout the whole ride and throughout the whole experience. Then you get to the boat part, and there are many different kinds of boats, and you can wakeboard off of almost any kind of boat that can get up to 20 miles an hour fairly quickly. But wakeboard boats are a very specific type of boat that if you have, they're obviously much better, because they actually throw a bigger wake because they have more weight in the back of them. So they throw a bigger, steeper wake that's not as wide, so that you can go and jump off the first side and land on the second side smoothly without really having to go too far or having to really throw it. And that really helps out the rider, and it helps out if you're starting on a wakeboard boat. It makes it a lot easier to pick up and whatnot. And then the last thing is the life jacket. So unlike skateboarding, where you're recommended to wear a helmet, you should wear a helmet, in wakeboarding it's actually against the law not to wear a life jacket while you're wakeboarding. And the Department of Natural Resources, it's kind of like boat police. If they go out on the water and they see someone participating in water sports without a life jacket, you'll actually get a citation or a warning if it's a good day. But you can get a citation for doing that. The last thing is a good attitude. And so the big thing about wakeboarding is, because you can't go out and do it alone, because you need a boat driver and a spotter, the person who's watching you wakeboard, so that the driver can keep his eyes up in front of him. Because you need more people, you can never fail without anybody seeing it. So it's not like skateboarding where you can go outside into your front lawn and like in the street and like practice on your own. You're really put on the spot whenever you're doing it. And each run, you don't just like step off like a skateboard. You don't just step off and step back on. On a wakeboard, if you fall, you have to go all the way. The boat has to go all the way around, circle back, pick you up, line the rope back up, and it's more of a whole thing. And it can get very frustrating very fast if a lot of people that know how to wakeboard are watching you just mess up over again. And each ride and each wraparound takes a long period of time, so that can be very frustrating. But if you have a good teacher and you really commit to the fact that that you're going to learn and that it's just going to take time, you really just need to get a feel for it. You can definitely keep a good attitude, and you'll be better off than if you were getting frustrated with it and getting upset with yourself, because you're really only holding yourself back. So I explained to you today the 3 things you need for wakeboarding, which is good equipment, a good attitude, and the good center of balance at the beginning. So, and I really hope this has given you a good idea of the process that it takes to get up on a wakeboard and what you need and how you would go about learning this new sport. And I really hope that at some point you all can get out on the wakeboard and try it out. And maybe use what I've told you to help you get up there for the first time. Thank you very much.
Oh, my bad.
Good.